Now I want to introduce you to this idea of keyframing or time within Blender. So in this section at the bottom of the grease pencil window is a little time slider here, and this time slider represents different frames in time, roughly, depending on the way the system's set up, either 24 or 30 frames per second. We could look in the settings to figure that out. But right now we're set on frame 1, and at frame 1, we have the ability to draw elements in our scene. Now I've got the draw mode selected. I've got the pencil mode, solid stroke, and I've got the strength at 60. So if I were to start drawing in my scene, you can see I can draw a line element. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly draw some lines here. And this is sort of a face, face icon thingy. Let's do a little shape like this. All right, so there's my quick little face. And what I wanted to show you is that if I go forward in time, that face will stay like that until I start drawing on another frame. So let's say I go to frame 5, and if I wanted to, I could start redrawing these shapes. So I'm going to just trace over these with another set of lines, and notice what happens is as soon as I finish the first stroke, the other strokes have kind of ghosted out. All right, and what's happened is we're seeing what's called an onion skin. So we're seeing a sort of a shaded view of the first frames, and the onion skin has colored those frames a different lighter stroke. And I can see these by going to the stroke menu and going down to, let's see if we can find, oh, it's probably under materials. Where is it? Strokes? Display. Oh, here it is. Under strokes, yes, there's something called onion skins. And I can see that it's set to a keyframe. If I open this window up slightly sideways, we can see that it's set for keyframes before and keyframes after. Now, what that means is that it's going to show us onion skins before and after our current frame. So if I put those at 0, notice I don't see the onion skins anymore. And if I turn those back on again, it's going to show me the onion skins. So basically what that means is that the onion skins, it's going to show us earlier frames. Okay, I'm going to go to frame 8 and I'm going to draw again. And I'm sort of just tracing my original objects a little bit. Notice that the onion skin is still adjusted, and I'm still drawing the shapes of my object here. And what I'm getting is now an onion skin of just the previous frame. Okay, if I adjusted the onion skin to show 2 frames before, I get 2 sets of onion skins now or more. So I can adjust these numbers anytime that I want. Again, this is under the little setting right here for strokes for the object data. All right, now at the bottom of the screen also is a start and end value. The end value can be reduced so that I'm showing, let's say, from frames 1 to 20. And then I can also adjust this little slider here to sort of zoom my view to show frames basically 1 to 20. So I can zoom in on that area so I can see my keyframes. Now these keyframes can be moved around, so I can select these keyframes and I can drag them left or right, so I don't have to stay at that setting that I've already done. So what I've just done is move those keyframes around a little bit. And what I'm going to do is hit the play button down here, and now you can see that my animation is adjusting and playing through those different frames. I can still see the onion skins, but that's okay. So what I'm doing now is seeing the movement of my animation. All right, Remember, we can go in and we can sculpt these lines anytime we want by adjusting this, going to the sculpt mode. And if I'm on a particular frame, let's say if I'm on this frame and I want to sculpt the mouth shape a little bit here, I could adjust the mouth shape or adjust the chin shape here. And again, based on the F key, which gives me the radius of that sculpt tool, I can sort of pull and push on those lines as I need to adjust the shapes of the lines. All right, so I'm going to go here to frame 6 now, since I've adjusted those a little bit. And instead of sculpting, what I'm going to do is go to the edit mode and select all of those lines. Now I can do this one line at a time if I wanted. So I could grab just this one eye and I can move it around, right? I can move it, I could rotate it, and I could scale it. So I can do all of those things just with one particular stroke, right? Or if I select all of those strokes, what I can do is copy them. So I'm going to do Command C, and then I'm going to click anywhere to deselect those, go to frame 8 out here, and then I'm going to do Command V to paste those lines back in there now. So now I can see that I've pasted those lines onto a new layer, and I'm going to go into sculpt mode now. And what I'm going to do is go to sculpt mode, and I'm going to adjust the sculpt shape of my little lines. And as I'm adjusting them, I can see the basically the line work of the previous frame. So copying and pasting lines from one point in time to another is another great way to sort of create some animation. Okay, so now I've got some quick little animation of my face lines. Okay, that's a introduction to keyframes down here, and the keyframes show basically every time I've drawn something, those are points in time that I've drawn those elements on there. Now, if I'm accidentally on the wrong frame and I start to draw something, so if I go into the draw mode, it's going to create a new keyframe at frame 9, and it basically, uh, ghosts out those previous onion skin frames from there. So just be careful as you're drawing to make sure you're on the keyframe that you want to be at before you start drawing if you're going back and adding something. So if I wanted to add another little mouth shape here, I could do this here and notice it doesn't ghost them out. I've sort of put them all on that additional frame. Okay.